It always starts the same way. You promise yourself 5 minutes, just 5. But the screen pulls you in like a tide you can't resist. RushTok opens its gates and suddenly your room doesn't belong to you anymore. The chants are first. Perfectly synchronized smiles, shiny hair catching the light, sorority rituals polished to perfection. Their laughter is too smooth to be real, but you feel the pressure of it anyway, like an audition you didn't sign up for. Swipe. A girl cries in her car under the buzzing neon of a gas station. Mascara stains her cheeks like war paint. She whispers, "I just wanted to belong." Thousands of hearts float on the side of the screen. Swipe. Someone brags about who got in and who got cut. Voices sharp as knives. Swipe. An endless parade of strangers living lives both too perfect and too broken. By the 3rd swipe, you don't notice the room anymore. By the 10th, you've forgotten your own face. Your body is here, but your soul is outsourced. The glow of the screen paints your skin blue like moonlight drained of warmth. The hum of the fridge fills the silence between clips. Outside, a dog barks and goes quiet. But none of it reaches you, because you're inside the cathedral now. Yes, the cathedral. RushTok has become your church. Every chant, every confession, every rant is a hymn. Each swipe is a prayer you didn't mean to pray. The liturgy goes like this: laugh, swipe, cry, swipe, compare, swipe, repeat. And slowly your soul bends its knees to an altar built of pixels. There's a chair in the corner, ordinary. Worn fabric, wood scratched at the edges. Tonight it feels like the most dangerous thing in the room. Because if you sat there without your phone, without the noise, there would be nothing left but the sound of your own breathing. The truth no one tells you is this: silence feels scarier than failure. That's why you stay. That's why the feed owns you. The algorithm knows the one thing you cannot bear is yourself. And when you finally notice the hollow ache rising in your chest, you scroll faster, harder, desperate, as if the next video might finally patch the hole the last one made. But it never does. Instead, your nights blur into mornings, and the mornings blur into shame. You laugh off the exhaustion. Just one of those nights. But deep down, you know. You're not tired from life. You're tired from running from it. Think about it. When did staring into a glowing rectangle feel safer than staring into your own reflection? When did strangers become louder in your head than your own voice? Maybe you joke about it. Touch grass? But maybe they weren't wrong. Because when was the last time you actually felt air without music in your ears or walked without narrating it to a camera? Here's the ugly secret. The algorithm doesn't want you healed. It wants you hooked. Every night it whispers, stay a little longer, just one more scroll, and you obey. Because distraction is softer than pain. Because distraction feels easier than truth. But each escape costs you something you never get back. Your time, your attention, yourself. You glance at it now uneasy. It doesn't move. It doesn't demand. It doesn't care about your likes, your status, your face. It doesn't want anything but you, exactly as you are. That's why it terrifies you. Because deep down, you know, when the screen dies and the room returns, you will have to meet yourself, and you're not sure who you'll find waiting. You whisper it under your breath, though no one hears. I can't stop. Your thumb twitches like a nervous habit, automatic, mechanical. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Each motion feels like survival, like pulling air into drowning lungs. But survival of what? Every scroll is an escape hatch. Not into freedom, but into another prison, one with neon walls and endless mirrors. The clips don't save you, they consume you. Yet still you keep going, because stopping feels worse. You are tired, but afraid of silence. You are lonely, but terrified of solitude. You crave attention, yet every performance on the feed makes you feel invisible. This is the wound Pascal named centuries ago. We would rather run into noise than face the abyss of quiet. The contradiction is sharp. You want connection, but every clip leaves you emptier. You laugh at a joke, then wonder why it doesn't linger. You double tap on someone crying, then ask why your chest still feels hollow. Connection is supposed to heal, but here it only numbs. You've built a cathedral of distraction. The pews are lined with strangers' faces. The hymns are chants, dances, confessions. The altar is an endless feed that demands sacrifice. Your time, your rest, your soul. You give it willingly. Not because you want to, but because the alternative, silence, feels unbearable. You tell yourself, everyone does this. It's not that bad. But deep inside, you know you're bargaining with your own reflection. The mornings betray you. Heavy eyes, body sore from lying still yet never resting. You tell your friends you're just tired. You smile through work, school, errands. But inside, the exhaustion is existential. You're not just tired of the day, you're tired of yourself. Pascal once said that humans invented distraction to avoid facing the truth of their existence. Tonight, you prove him right. But there's a dangerous cost to this bargain. The more you run from silence, the more silence hunts you. That empty chair in the corner, have you noticed how it watches you now? The longer you avoid it, the heavier it feels. The chair doesn't move, but you feel its presence like a shadow pressing against your skin. The chair is not furniture tonight. It is judgment. It is memory. It is every unanswered question you scroll to avoid. What do I want? Who am I when no one is watching? What will I lose if I keep running? You laugh it off sometimes. This is just how life is now. Doomscrolling has become a cultural joke, a meme, a TikTok trend in itself. But the laughter is nervous, isn't it? Because deep down you know, memes are just confessions with filters. Here's the real confession. Distraction is not neutral. Every swipe leaves a mark, not on your skin, but on your soul. Think about the nights you blurred away, the hours lost to strangers' lives while your own life sat unused in the corner. Think about the mornings you woke up empty, wondering why you felt like you hadn't lived your own day. Every escape costs something, and the currency you pay is yourself. You tell yourself you can stop whenever you want, but if that's true, why haven't you? Maybe the real truth is this. Distraction is safer than truth, because truth requires courage, and courage feels impossible at one swim, when your soul is tired and the chair keeps waiting. Pascal's voice lingers like a whisper through the centuries. The sole cause of man's unhappiness is his inability to stay quietly in his room. And here you are, proving him right. The scroll continues, but somewhere beneath the noise, your chest aches, your breath shortens, and you realize you're not just running from silence, you're running from yourself. It happens suddenly. The endless stream hiccups, the video stalls, the wheel spins, searching for connection. For the first time all night, nothing moves. The silence slams into you like cold water. Your thumb still hovers, twitching, begging the feed to return, but it doesn't. The stage is gone. The crowd evaporates. You are left with one thing you didn't expect to see, yourself. Your reflection stares back from the black glass, eyes hollow, shadows carved beneath them, lips parted, but no words. You don't look alive. You look paused. Pascal's whisper crawls out of the centuries. When we cannot change the world, we distract ourselves from facing ourselves. And in this second of glitching silence, the distraction fails. And you feel the truth you've been running from. If I can't sit with myself for 5 minutes, have I already lost myself? The thought cuts sharper than any video could. Because suddenly, it's not about the sorority chants, or the crying strangers, or the glowing filters. It's about the silence inside your own chest. You realize you haven't listened to it in years. You've been drowning it out with playlists, with feeds, with chatter that promises to connect, but only disconnects. You've been running faster and faster so you wouldn't hear it whisper the one question you can't bear. Who are you when no one is watching? The chair in the corner grows heavier. It is no longer just furniture. It has become a witness. Every night, it waits. Every night, you ignore it. But now, in the buffering silence, you feel its weight. It doesn't want your mask. It doesn't want your performance. It doesn't want your carefully curated feed. It wants you, raw, unfiltered, trembling. And that's why it terrifies you. Because you've forgotten what it feels like to be enough without an audience. You remember moments you didn't mean to. The time you laughed alone in your car, windows down, no camera recording. Pure, unrepeatable, unshareable. The night you lay awake listening to rain, and for once, it felt like the world was singing just to you. The morning sunlight painting your room gold before your phone had the chance to wake you. Small memories, unspectacular, yet more real than all the staged clips combined. They hit you like a betrayal. You didn't need the noise. You chose it because silence felt unbearable. But silence is where the real things live. The buffering wheel disappears. The video snaps back into motion. A stranger's voice rises again, filling the space. But something has changed. You no longer hear them the same way. The laughter sounds brittle. The confessions feel rehearsed. The algorithm doesn't sound holy anymore. It sounds hungry. And beneath it all, your chest aches with a quiet realization. The algorithm may own your attention, but it cannot own your soul unless you let it. The phone feels heavy in your hand, almost shameful. For the first time, you consider putting it down. But the thought makes your chest clench, because if you put it down, you'll have to face the chair. Still, the thought won't leave. Maybe the chair isn't a threat. Maybe it's a cure. Pascal's words echo, but this time, they land differently. You realize he wasn't condemning you for running from silence. He was warning you of the cost. If you can't sit in silence, you'll never know yourself. If you never know yourself, you'll never truly belong anywhere. Not in sorority chants, not in comment sections, not in curated feeds. Belonging begins with presence, and presence begins with stillness. You look again at the chair, it's just wood, just fabric. But tonight it feels like a mountain you've never dared to climb. And somewhere deep in your chest, a crack opens. The terrifying knowledge that the life you're scrolling to avoid is the very life slipping away in front of you. This is the soul's whisper. Stop running or lose yourself forever. The thought won't leave. Maybe the chair isn't a threat. Maybe it's a cure. You stare at it, breathing shallow, as if the fabric itself were alive. For days, weeks, months, you've avoided this moment. Always another swipe. Always another excuse. Always another escape hatch disguised as entertainment. But now, something inside has cracked open. The screen is still in your hand. Its glow whispers like an old lover, "Don't leave me. Just one more scroll, just one more night together." And for the first time, you see it clearly for what it is. Not comfort, but chains. Your thumb hovers above the screen. It twitches, desperate for motion, desperate to obey the ritual. But then, with a sudden rush of rebellion, you press the button. The light dies. The room exhales, and now there is only you. You look at the chair. Your chest tightens. It is absurd, isn't it, that a piece of furniture should terrify you more than 1,000 judgments online. But the fear is real, primal. Because sitting there means sitting with everything you've tried to drown. Still, your legs move. One step, then another. The floor creaks. The chair waits. You place your hand on its back, and the wood is cool, grounding. You sit. At first, panic rises. Your mind screams, go back, turn the screen on, escape. Your chest clenches, your throat tightens. The silence is so loud it feels like thunder. But you don't move. You force yourself to stay. And then slowly, new sounds emerge. The hum of the fridge, the steady tick of the clock, a dog barking in the distance, your own breathing, uneven at first, then calmer. For the first time in too long, you are not consuming. You are simply existing. At first, you feel the pull of the feed like withdrawal. You imagine the missed notifications, the unshared jokes, the rituals happening without you. You feel the phantom vibration of a phone that isn't ringing. But as the minutes stretch, something shifts. You notice your hands unclenching, your shoulders lowering. The air tastes different, like it belongs to you again. And in that fragile stillness, a strange realization appears. Silence isn't the enemy, it's the mirror. It shows you what you've been hiding. It reflects the exhaustion, the loneliness, the ache for meaning you've buried under endless swipes. It shows you yourself. Pascal wasn't mocking you when he wrote that humans flee silence. He wasn't condemning you for running. He was warning you because silence is sacred. It strips away your disguises. It forces you to face what you are without distraction. And if you can endure that, even for a breath, you find something stronger than distraction, presence. You breathe again. And this time, the air feels fuller, heavier, real. For months you've been telling yourself that stillness is unbearable, but now you see. The real unbearable thing was losing yourself piece by piece to the noise. Stillness doesn't kill you. It resurrects you. You close your eyes, the chair holds you. No one is watching. No one is judging. And yet, for the first time, you feel seen. By yourself, by the silence, by the strange truth that your worth never needed an audience. The chair is no longer dangerous. It is salvation disguised as ordinary furniture. And you think, maybe tomorrow you'll sit here again. Maybe tomorrow you'll give yourself another moment before the world's noise begins. Not because you've conquered the algorithm. Not because you've escaped distraction forever, but because you've tasted something more honest. And once you've tasted honesty, the noise never feels the same again. You sit in silence. And for the first time in a long time, you're not running. And in that stillness, you realize this was the mountain you were meant to climb all along. Daylight comes, as it always does, and with it, the call of the feed. RushTok waits. The chants will be back, louder than ever. The crying confessions will multiply. The algorithm will whisper again, stay with me, don't leave, just one more scroll. But something has changed. Because last night, for the first time, you sat in the chair. And now, the chair lives inside you. It doesn't matter if you're at your desk, waiting in line, or half asleep on the bus. You carry the memory of that silence with you. The way the room breathed when the screen went dark. The way your own lungs felt like proof of life. You realize something radical. Even 1 minute of stillness is resistance, a rebellion against the algorithm, a refusal to sell your soul in small pieces, a declaration that your presence belongs to you. In the daylight, the world tells you to run again. Doom scroll through headlines, reply to messages instantly. Curate your story so it doesn't look like you've disappeared, but the truth is quieter. Silence has taught you that nothing collapses when you step away. The feed keeps moving, yes, but your life does not vanish when you stop watching. What vanishes is you when you never stop. You think of the friends you've half lost to distraction, the ones who drift further every time a hangout becomes a chance to film, every time laughter is cut into clips for likes, every time silence in conversation feels unbearable and someone fills it with scrolling. You've seen it. Entire friendships quiet quit without ever saying goodbye. People disappearing not because they left, but because they were consumed. And you wonder, how much of your own life have you let evaporate the same way? This is the paradox Pascal warned us about. The more we run from silence, the more we lose the one thing we claim to want: connection. Because connection without presence is counterfeit. It's sugar without nutrition. It tastes sweet, but it starves the soul. Maybe your exhaustion isn't just physical. Maybe it's the cost of outsourcing your presence to strangers. Maybe your burnout isn't just from work. Maybe it's from performing every waking hour, terrified of being unseen. The algorithm doesn't care if you lose yourself, but you should. Silence is not glamorous. It won't trend. It won't win you followers. But it will give you back what matters: the ability to actually live your own life. Think of it this way. Instead of doom scrolling until dawn, you could close your eyes and let your body actually rest. Instead of letting your friendships erode, you could look someone in the eyes and ask them how they really are, and stay long enough to hear the answer. Instead of numbing yourself with strangers' chaos, you could write one honest line in a journal, a sentence no one else will ever read, but one that makes you more real to yourself. Instead of drowning in curated perfection, you could step outside without headphones just to hear what the world actually sounds like when it isn't trying to sell you something. These are small acts, but they are revolutions disguised as choices. The truth is simple, though it hurts. Every escape costs you presence, and presence is the currency of your life. If you spend it all on distraction, what will be left for love, for friendship, for meaning? The chair is proof that silence didn't kill you, it made you whole. Now the question is, will you choose it again? Because if you don't, if you keep running, you already know the answer. You've seen it in your reflection. You felt it in the hollow ache. If you never stop, you'll lose the one person you can't afford to lose: yourself. It is night again. The hour when the world quiets, but your head doesn't. Your phone glows like a secret flame begging for your touch. The algorithm waits with open arms. RushTok is still there, rehearsing its chants, lining up its tears, baiting its hooks. It whispers, "Stay with me." One more scroll, one more night of borrowed noise. You could answer. You have answered night after night. And what has it given you? Another sunrise you didn't see, another morning heavy with regret. Another piece of yourself traded for a clip you don't even remember. So tonight, dare to break the ritual. Don't scroll until your eyes ache. Don't offer your midnight as tribute to a feed that will forget you tomorrow. Don't sell another hour of your life for applause that never touches your skin. Instead, turn it off. Turn it off and turn toward the chair. At first, your body resists. The silence feels unnatural, like a wound uncovered. you'll feel the pull, a phantom vibration, the itch to check what you're missing. You'll hear the whispers in your head. What if I'm left behind? What if they forget me? What if I'm invisible? But stay. Stay in the silence long enough, and it will show you something the noise never could. You'll notice the room again, the texture of the wall, the faint scratch on the wood floor, the way the air feels heavy but real. You'll notice your body, shoulders tense, then slowly releasing. Hands unclenching, the rhythm of your own breath, steady, ancient, proof that you are still here. Silence isn't empty, silence is alive, and it has been waiting for you. This is not a call to abandon the world. Tomorrow you will scroll again. You will laugh at memes, send clips to friends, fall into the noise. That's human. But now you know something different. You know the chair exists. One place that doesn't demand, one place that doesn't perform. One place where you can sit and remember you are not just content for someone else's feed, you are a life. Think of the rebellion in that. 1 minute of silence against a machine designed to steal every second. One breath of stillness against a culture that profits from your exhaustion. One choice to meet yourself when the world is begging you to vanish into noise. The chair is not just furniture, it is an altar. A place where you lay down the lie that you are not enough. A place where you remember that presence is the rarest form of power. And once you sit here, even for a song's length, you'll realize the algorithm never owned you. It only rented your attention, but your soul was always yours. So here is the challenge. Not a lecture, not an order, just an invitation. Tonight, before you sleep, sit in silence for the length of one song. Let the chair hold you. Let the silence breathe through you. You don't have to heal your whole life. You just have to be here for one honest minute. Do it again tomorrow, and again the next night. Not perfectly, not forever, just enough to remember. You are not lost. You are returning. Because here is the truth you cannot outrun. If you never stop, if you keep running into noise, you will lose the one person you cannot afford to lose, yourself. But if you pause, if you dare to sit, even trembling, even unsure, you will find that you are still here. And that discovery, quiet, terrifying, holy, will change everything. So tonight, ask yourself softly, if I don't change, what part of me will vanish into the noise forever? And then sit, because the silence is not your enemy. The silence is your doorway home, and the chair has been waiting.